It's college basketball at Baha Mar, and it starts right now. Basketball on the way from Nassau in the Bahamas. We welcome you to the Continental Tire Baha Mar Championship game, featuring the 11th ranked Tennessee Volunteers and 13th ranked Baylor Bears. A remarkable comeback for Baylor in the semis, erasing an 18-point deficit. Jeremy Roach delivered the game winner at the buzzer. Tennessee used the dominant second half to power past Virginia to reach tonight's title game. Glad you're with us alongside the All-American and National Champ Kyle Macy. I'm Chris Sylvester. Sam Hyman joins us shortly. It's only the third weekend of November, but this game has a third weekend of March type of feel. What intrigues you about this matchup?
Well, it's two really good teams. They start on the defensive end and build around that, but they can go through stretches offensively where they just can't miss. And that's the sign of a good team. Both ends of the floor are very important to them.
Well, speaking of big games, Jeremy Roach spent the last 4 seasons at Duke. He's got that big game experience. 20 points last night in the game winner. Yeah,
his second leading scorer in the team. It brings a ton of experience having played those 4 years in another school, but none bigger than the shot he hit last night in the double overtime to come away with the victory. For Tennessee, Chaz Lanier steps right in at 6'5" and provides that outside scoring. Went on an 8-0 run his own last night to kind of put the game away for the Volunteers.
We will crown a champion in the Continental Tire Baha Mar Championship. A trophy will be hoisted tonight in Nassau. Tennessee and Baylor, top 15 matchup, tips off next.
Fired up.
Tonight, the 11th ranked Tennessee Volunteers, 13th ranked Baylor Bears. No changes in either starting lineup after both won semifinal contests here in the Continental Tire Baha Mar Championship last night. Rick Barnes picked up his 811th career victory, more than 200 of those at Rocky Top. 38th season as a Division I college head coach. He had to be pleased with his defensive performance last night. Only yielded 42 points to Virginia. And Scott Drew, boy, his reaction to Jeremy Roach's game winner told you everything. This guy coaches with a ton of energy. In his 22nd season, led Baylor to their lone national title in program history 3 years ago. Top 15 matchup underway in Nassau. Mike Roberts, Don Daly, Lucas Santos, your officials. And a quick start for the Volunteers. Chaz Lanier picks up where he left off last night.
Good recognition by Ziegler, finding Lanier right away. Baylor a little slow coming off the tip.
6 trays in that semifinal win for Lanier against Virginia. And an early takeaway for Ziegler, the reigning FCC Defensive Player of the Year. Lanier had 26 points last night. A number that put him over 1,000 for his college career. Ziegler pulls from deep. And it's short, but it's going to stay on this end. The foul underneath on Baylor.
Milicic's doing a good job going to the offensive glass, and Edgecombe just kind of gave him a shove in the back. Baylor started out man-to-man defense, whereas last night they came out early in the matchup zone.
Baylor clawed back from 18 down to beat St. John's. They trailed by 5 points inside of 10 seconds in double overtime. It was a miracle 3 from Edgecombe and close to a miracle finish as Jeremy Roach ripped the cords from long range as time expired. Another takeaway for Ziegler. His second steal in the opening minutes. He was really limited offensively last night. 1 for 9 from the field, but Chaz Lanier continues to dominate from 3-point territory.
Picked up right where he left off last night, back-to-back threes.
Scott Drew His team got off to this type of start last night against St. John's. He takes the timeout less than 90 seconds in.
Well, I'm sure he's not happy with the fact that the scouting report had to be find Lanier early.
Back-to-back downtown hits for Chaz Lanier, and the Volunteers lead early. Chaz Lanier lighting it up from the outside. 6 triples last night, 2 trays to open the scoring in this game. 3rd time in his college career that he knocked down 6 3-pointers in a contest. Comes from North Florida. He was one of the more efficient scorers in college basketball last season in the Atlantic Sun.
Yeah, his biggest adjustment has been just learning how to play defense in the Rick Barnes system. But Coach Barnes wants him to be aggressive shooting the ball because, as you can see, he's a very good shooter.
Already Baylor's 3rd turnover. Not what Scott Drew was hoping to see out of that early timeout. Milicic puts it on the deck, and it bounces out, but a couple free throws on the way.
The other thing, in the old days, if someone made a shot or 2 in a row, you knew that next shot wasn't going to be out on the floor. He was going to have to drive to the basket. But Milicic, that time with a good drive to the basket, drew the foul.
Igor Milicic, another transfer portal addition for Tennessee in the offseason. Spent the last 2 years at Charlotte, freshman season at Virginia. And against the program he used to play for last night, 2 rebounds shy of a double-double.
Tennessee seems real focused right now to start the game. Obviously, it helps being up 7-0, but a little more pep in their step than we saw to begin the game last night.
Milicic misses both. Nunn ducks into the paint. Robert Wright was terrific off the bench last night, and the hero is Jeremy Roach. Misses his first attempt, but Omier on the offensive glass as Baylor's first points.
Omier is so good on the offense and defensive glass. He's got those wide shoulders and a good strong base. You almost have to face guard him. You can't try to pivot and block him out the old-fashioned way. He's got a quick first step. It'll go right by you.
Omier had his 3rd double-double of the early season last night. Chaz Lanier with his 3rd triple less than 3 minutes in this championship game.
Yeah, if a guy's made 2, you can't let him make 3. You got to make him put it on the floor and go to the basket. Take that away.
First team All-ASUN at North Florida last year. Celestine hit 4 of those against St. John's last night, but this one off the cylinder. A 10-2 start for Tennessee. Lanier, heat check on target.
We called it. That was a heat check because he was way out there.
A logo tray, and it's all Chaz Lanier. 12 of the 13 for Tennessee. And now a reach-in foul.
Yeah, bad foul by Okpara. Just reaching in way out on the floor. The offense player was not going to hurt him that far out. Show, but then get back to your man.
This is shades of Dalton Connect from a season ago.
Well, and that's the attitude that Coach Barnes wants Lanier to take, because early when the season practices, he turned down shots. And that may have just been his adjustment of getting into the system after playing in North Florida for those years.
Okpara sits early for Rick Barnes. Cade Phillips, 6'9" sophomore from Alabama, checks in. Celestine dribbling into the paint. Left-hand shot rolls off. Meshack clears it away for Tennessee. Baylor off to a 1-for-4 start. It's Milicic. Meshack grabs the second effort. Lanier for 3. Got it again.
Why not?
Scott Drew, 4 minutes in, takes his second timeout. Too much Chaz Lanier, and it's 16-2 Tennessee early. (16-2) start for Tennessee in the Continental Tire Baja Mart Championship, courtesy of a Chaz Lanier landslide. He's knocked down 5 triples.
Yeah, Chaz has 15 of the 16 points for Tennessee from different locations, too.
First you get the left side, then you get straight away. And when you're feeling it, you just pull up from the logo, knowing it's going to go in. Move a little bit more to the right, about 6-7 feet past the three-point line. It's a good feeling from a player. That basket looks like it's a sewer almost, that everything's funneling right into the middle of it.
Well, Lanier has been filling up that sewer in Nassau. 6 triples last night. He's already 1 make shy of tying the most 3-point field goals he's hit in a single game about 4 minutes into this contest. Meanwhile, Baylor, one of their first 4 from the field, and they've turned it over 3 times. And you wondered what type of energy they'd come out with after a double overtime game last night. Jeremy Roach operating downhill for 2.
Yeah, Roach showing that experience, being strong to the basket. Meshack plays with a lot of energy. That's a good matchup to watch those two go at it.
Roach,
they are now showing some 1-3-1 zone. Excuse me, Chris.
Roach logged 44 minutes last night and finished with 20 points. Ziegler kicks. Meshack fires. Celestine the rebound. Baylor got a lot of production from its bench last night, namely Wright and Celestine, who combined for 31 points as substitutes for Scott Drew. And Wright, the freshman, whistled for traveling, dragging that pivot foot.
Wright, as a freshman, he does a lot of good things, but being a freshman, he also makes a lot of mistakes. You know when he goes in the game that things are going to happen. And not always positive, but he does bring a lot of good energy. He's a good player. Baylor, again, showing some zone, and now they'll switch out of it as the shot clock starts winding down into some man-to-man. You can always tell when a player cuts through if the defensive player stays with him or just guards the area, whether they're man or zone.
Jordan Gainey off the bench, launches from deep, missed it off the heel. It's shooting practice for Lanier. I guess he's better from long range, but Meshack grabs another offensive rebound.
It's too wide open.
Tennessee had 18 offensive rebounds against Virginia last night, and that took the Cavaliers out of the game. Lanier on a crossover, works downhill and lays it in.
Well, he had a mismatch, had a size advantage. He was shorter, but he was quicker and able to go right by the defender.
Well, maybe he can do it inside the arc. 17 of Tennessee's 18 points, courtesy of Chaz Lanier. Wright steps inside the arc, off the side of the rim. Lanier in rhythm.
Nope.
His first miss from 3-point territory. Here comes Langston Love, who played 16 minutes his first game in 257 days last night, but did not score. Ziegler has his 3rd steal. Lanier on a mid-range. Another rebound for Langston Love.
He's getting a lot of good looks, though. Again, maybe a little bit of fatigue. Some of the Baylor big men a little tired, a little slow getting back down the court.
Roach off the fingertips of Ojanwuna, and Ziegler, Johnny on the spot again. Alley-oop, Phillips hammers it through.
I think this is Ziegler we didn't see last night, but the one I think SEC fans are used to. Very active on the defensive end, then setting the table for his teammates offensively.
Tennessee dominating every facet of these first 7 minutes. And a foul away from the basketball as Langston Love tried to keep his balance. All right, 13-2 run for Tennessee, and Zakai Ziegler has had his fingerprints all over it.
Yeah, he's right in the middle of the floor, so he's got some different options. It's just a good lob pass, nice and soft, easy to handle. All Phillips had to do was catch it and put it in the basket.
Cade Phillips, that big 7'2" wingspan, a fun target in those alley-oop situations. Omier trapped, another takeaway. Darlin Stone Dubar the steal. Ziegler launches a 3.
Yeah, his shots just not been quite on. He's not a great outside shooter, but he normally can make a fairly good percent. He's really struggled down here in the shooting.
Love bumped. Omier.
That's the guy that's got to get going for Baylor.
Oh, so strong when he gets inside, but couldn't finish it.
He had a monstrous game last night. He too may be feeling some fatigue early.
I think all of these guys are. It's Dubar from straight away. Off the heel, long rebound to Gainey. Jordan Gainey, 5.7 boards off the bench for Tennessee last night.
Chitcher's open underneath the basket, just couldn't get it to him.
Ziegler finds Dubar. This time he connects.
Dubar's going to be a big addition to get him back in the lineup because he's got good size, good length. He plays good defense, and as you see there, if he gets set, he can shoot the ball as well.
At 4 points in 11 minutes, his Tennessee debut off the bench last night. Omer spinning, and he lost the handle. Dubar touched it last, and it will take us to a timeout. Baylor needs to regroup. Tennessee opening half domination in the Bahamas.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by Continental Tire, the smart choice in tires, and by AT&T. Connecting changes everything.
Oh, you better get your shades on. White sand beaches here along the beautiful Baha Mar Resort. A dominant start for Tennessee. 19-point lead over Baylor. And while the offense has had an outburst here these first almost 9 minutes, this is a program, they hang their hat on defense. And that's what Rick Barnes has brought to this Tennessee team the last decade.
That's true. I mean, that's the first thing they think about when they come out. They do the shell drill, which is usually 4-on-4, closing out to the ball as the ball's passed, all four players swinging into position. You know, some coaches will do it once every 2 weeks, maybe, whatever, but that's a staple. They do that every day to start practice.
Sam Hyman has more on that Tennessee defense.
Yeah, that elite defense, Chris. Zakai Ziegler and Jabari Meshach in particular. I spoke to Coach Barnes about those two guys, and he said it's in their DNA. Similar to other small guards I've coached, DJ Augustine, TJ Ford, Terrell McIntyre. Coach Barnes said one thing all these guys have in common, they're stubborn. They want to learn every time they mess up and get it right.
Well, Ziegler is the anchor of the Tennessee defense, three-time SEC all-defensive team, and was the conference defensive player of the year last season. We'll see if that Jalen Celestine Trey can get Baylor back in rhythm on offense. Dubar left alone, clanks it off the side of the iron, and last touched by Milicic. An early avalanche from Tennessee has put Baylor in a similar predicament that they were yesterday. They trailed by 18 in the first half against St. John's.
Right, and they'll not panic. I mean, they've been in this situation before, and they saw yesterday they could come back, although it was pretty tough.
That was partially blocked and last touched by the Bears.
And Tennessee's defense is so good right now, holding Baylor to 38% from the field, and they've got 8-2-0 points off of turnovers, taking those turnovers, going down, scoring right away.
Baylor showing this full court pressure for the first time tonight. Lanier watched by Roach.
Kind of tell they miss Ziegler out there on the floor, can't you?
Shot clock down to 3. Gainey cradles, goes up, never touched the iron. Shot clock violation.
Just couldn't quite get organized to run what they were trying to run in the offensive end. Because Gainey's more of a two-guard, Lanier's more of a two-guard, obviously. Meshach's not really a point, although he can play some point. He can play all the way down to a 4 if he has to.
Rick Barnes saw what you did. Zakai Ziegler's at the scorer's table. Celestine from straight away. Omer keeps it alive, and the putback rolls off. Nunn fighting for positioning underneath, but he loses the handle. Tennessee just a little more physical here at the outset. Meshach reached in on and fouled. Nope, going the other way. Offensive foul, he pushed off on the freshman Edgecombe. Now, BJ Edgecombe, we heard so much about him. A lot of that coming from his background. He's from the Bahamas, as you get a look at the hook from Meshach. But this is a guy that has been soaring up NBA mock draft boards for 2025. He was pretty quiet, not efficient last night. How does Baylor get him involved on the offensive end?
He'll get the ball in his hand a little bit. You know, we haven't really called his name much in the offensive flow, but he's not really going to beat you from the outside. And you sometimes get a little bit confused when they talk about the draft picks, because there you see his talent, gliding to the basket, going strong, and exploding to the rim. But a lot of times they draft younger players on the potential, what they think they can develop them into. But he's got great length on his body, good strength, good size.
And elite athleticism as shown on that blow by. Ziegler finds Gainey in the corner. Ripped down by Milicic. Gainey, another clean look. This time he knocks it down.
Ziegler knowing where to get the ball and whose hands it's open.
Tennessee continues to light it up from the outside. Their 7th triple. 9 of 25 from distance last night against Virginia. Edgecombe kicks it out.
Yeah, if they can get Ziegler at the point, Gainey on the wing, and Lanier on the other wing, it's going to be hard to stop on the perimeter. It's all those guys, great players.
Long rebound to Lanier. Gainey, for three.
Because you put your focus all on stopping Lanier, and that leaves Gainey open, and that's what we've seen the last 2 times. He's got 2 wide open looks.
Tennessee balloons the lead to 20. Only 9 points the first 12 minutes for Baylor. Four of 13 on this end with 7 turnovers. Celestine off the side of the iron. O'Meara in among 3 white jerseys keeps it alive for Baylor, and none misses the runner.
I've been watching O'Meara. He gets the defense down underneath the basket. Tennessee with the big lead, 20 with 7:48 to go in the first half.
Sunday at 3 o'clock Eastern, LSU and Wisconsin go head-to-head for the 3rd place Greenbrier tip-off game. Rather, Pitt and Wisconsin squaring off in the championship. It's LSU and UCF in the 3rd place game. Action starts at 3 Eastern, followed by the championship at 5:30 Eastern here on CBS Sports Network. Here in the championship game of the Continental Tire Baha Mar Championship, all Tennessee all the time. 20-point lead for the Volunteers. Baylor in a funk offensively. They've opened 4 of 15. They've turned it over 7 times. Meanwhile, Tennessee 8 triples already in this game.
Yeah, 8 of 17. 10 of 22 overall, but the defensive end is 1, just holding Baylor down to 27%. Before the break, I was talking though about O'Meara, how he gets his defender all the way under the basket when he's offense. You got to keep him out on the floor, even if you pick him up at half court just to get a body on him, because once he gets that low, he's unstoppable.
Lanier wraps it in off the feed from Igor Milicic.
Got to give the coaches a little credit for that basket. Probably called it a timeout, swung it, and went back door, knowing they were going to overplay Lanier.
Wright glides inside for 2. Chaz Lanier already has 17 points in this first half. Milicic powers it up off the window and in.
That's a strong move, because O'Meara is one of the strongest postmen, down front line players there is. He bumped right off him, still maintained control.
O'Meara steps into a 3. Banks it in. Well, maybe doesn't have the same legs he did last night after playing more than 40 minutes in that double overtime thriller against St. John's. And he put just enough on it to kiss it off the glass.
Didn't seem to phase him either, almost like he was trying to.
Milicic on the step through, throws it down.
The defense got caught a little bit. I think they were thinking he was going to try to pass the ball. Instead, split the gap and went all the way to the rim.
Tennessee has connected on their last 5 attempts from the field, up to 52% this first half. Langston Love driving and kicking, deflected. Edgecombe recovers, hands it off to O'Meara, and a foul on the floor before the attempt.
Again, did you see that? He caught the ball inside the arc below the basket.
That's his 2nd. Lead foul number 4.
4th foul on Tennessee. Baylor has yet to attempt a free throw.
You know, that's what good defensive teams do. They apply that pressure without fouling. They don't want to give you those easy points.
Lanier lets it go. Got another one. 6 first-half triples for Chaz Lanier.
You better pick him up at the half-court line. That's all I got to say. Because he's looking to shoot now. I think Coach Barnes has got his message across. It makes them a better team when he's shooting and making shots because it opens up the inside.
Gainey reaches in on Robert Wright. Chaz Lanier, who had 26 points, a game high last night for Tennessee, has 8 more points than Baylor as a whole with 5:44 left in his first half. Edgecombe loses the handle. It ricochets to Wright. Another steal. Ziegler skips it back. Milicic draws the foul.
Ziegler looking to throw a lob maybe to Meshack, but it wasn't there, so he took the next option. That's the thing right, though, for Baylor has to learn. As a freshman, he will, you know, when to go because he's got a lot of skills and when not to try to force the issue because every time he forces it seems like there's a turnover.
9 first-half giveaways from Baylor. Tennessee has turned that into 11 points off of those turnovers as Milicic bounces in the first free throw. The first ever player in Tennessee program history from Croatia. Comes from a basketball background. His father played professionally for 2 decades in Poland and Belgium. Now a head coach of the Polish national team. Averaged 13 points per game last season at Charlotte. Rick Barnes could not have drawn up a better first half these 15 minutes we've played for Tennessee. Langston Love doesn't get it.
Yeah, and that's where you see the fatigue in the legs when the shots continue to come up short.
You can just tell Tennessee they've got way more bounce in their step. Ziegler tries from the logo. Didn't put enough on it. Omier can run the floor. Nunn spots up. Wright grabs the second effort.
And I think that's a possession where Wright would have been better off trying to go to the basket, get a layup or a foul, because Omir's not really the best outside shooter.
Milicic came in to erase the attempt. And now out of control. A foul called.
They got Nunn on the moving a little bit, trying to block there.
Foul call on Baylor's number 2, Jaden Nunn. First person on team foul.
Igor Milicic plays with a ton of energy. He'll check out. Cade Phillips is back. Darlin Stone Dubar is back. Scott Drew's team has a mountain to climb to try to get back within striking distance.
Now, the other thing that's against Baylor is the fact that Tennessee is such a deep team. I mean, you see free substitutions, but the level has not dropped off really at all.
Loose ball ricochets to Meshack. Around the world and down. It's 42-14. This looks like a lopsided football score with 3:30 left in this opening half.
And Baylor's having to work for every possession just to get a good shot. Active hands, we talked about the deflections.
Love with the shot clock at 2, twirls around. It grazes off the front of the rim. Roach out of the shot fake.
Another one short.
Leans in. This one's perfect.
Pardon the mistake there, left the ball, especially when the player's in the lane like that.
First points for Baylor in 4 minutes. They've had multiple lengthy scoring droughts. Gainey. And Love just could not grasp it. 2:44 left. Opening half. Continental Tire Baja Mar Championship. All Tennessee. Nassau championship game of the Continental Tire Baja Mar Championship. Tennessee dominant from the word go.
Yeah, and I think Rick Barnes probably the timeout is saying, you know, you've worked too hard to build this big lead. We've got 2:44 till halftime. Let's make another statement by staying focused and even extending that lead. Whereas Baylor in their huddle, you know, setting up a play and talking about, let's get a little confidence here going to halftime by making our own little run. Start on the defensive end, get a stop, get some good shots on the offense, and kind of gain some momentum.
How concerned are you about Baylor's early season defense? They gave up 101 points opening night to Gonzaga, 98, albeit in 2 overtimes. But St. John shot it really well, 55% from the field last night, and Tennessee 42 on the board with some time left on this first half clock.
Yeah, I think they'll get that worked out. I mean, on the other end, though, you know, they were 1 point away last night from their 3rd game in a row over 100 points. But, you know, they've got a lot of new faces, 4 new starters, so it's going to take a little bit of time to get that system completely in place as well.
Baylor, the preseason pick to finish 4th in the Big 12. Kansas, the preseason favorite. Lanier missed it. Phillips soars in for the putback dunk.
You know, that's the thing, too. Both these teams are in really tough conferences, top to bottom. A lot of people think the Big 12 is the toughest in the country, but the SEC is not too far behind.
Kansas the favorite. Houston and Iowa State, the other programs picked to finish higher than Baylor in the preseason poll. Nunn peels back. Way off the mark. Celestine grabs the loose ball in some traffic. And an issue with the clock.
It was reset to 20 on the shot, but I don't think the shot hit the rim. It just hit backboard.
Well, Baylor can't get to halftime soon enough.
So I guess they're saying it did hit the rim, so the shot clock's at 16, and it reset to 20.
Roach knifing in. Edgecombe. Watched by Lanier. Puts it on the deck. Jump shot on the way. Taken by Dubar.
He missed that one, but last night that 3-pointer he made to cut the 5-point lead down to 2 was really a tough shot. Percentage-wise, that you shoot that 10 times, I'm not sure he'd make a second time out of the 10. It was so tough because the defense was right on it.
Dubar whistled for the offensive foul.
It's the second hook call that the officials have called on Tennessee. The offensive player using that off arm to kind of help get by the defender.
Baylor 7 of 25, 28% from the field. Edgecombe raises up and uses the window for 2.
Yeah, that's what the pro scouts like, the ability just to explode up. I mean, hand well above the rim. Good body control.
Tennessee 51% from the floor on this end, highlighted by 9 first-half trays. Ziegler into Phillips.
Nice kick.
Dubar swings it. Meshack rises. That stays in play, taken by Ojanwana. That horseshoes off the cylinder. The Nunn miss. The Ojanwana offensive rebound. The Roach miss, but Ojanwana stays with it on the offensive glass. Didn't have much of an impact last night. Just 2 points in 17 minutes. This is his 3rd season with Baylor. from the NBA Global Academy by way of Nigeria. Final moments of the opening 20. It's a Lanier three and a Lanier made. A career best 7 triples, and Chaz Lanier does it in 1/2 to give Tennessee a large halftime lead at Baha Mar.
That last shot, watch how quick he gets rid of the shot. It was a set play, just a handoff, because the shot clock, the halftime clock was running down, and he knew he had to get rid of it quick, but his release is that quick, and the defenders really gives them problems.
Sam Hyman with Rick Barnes.
Wow, Coach, Chaz Lanier, 25 points in that first half. Shades of Dalton Connect, who had 20 in the first half quite a bit last season. What impressed you the most about what he did?
Well, again, what he's good at. He shot the ball. You know, he got his rhythm going. And that's what he's good at. And went with the ball the whole half. But still 20 minutes to go. They can come back. They can play. We just got to continue to do what we're doing on the defensive end.
Thanks, Coach. Good.
Oh, Rick Barnes, his program, they hang their hat on defense, but boy, they have filled it up on the offensive end through 20 minutes of basketball. Chaz Lanier, 7 trays, game high 25 points, and it's all Tennessee at the break of the Continental Tire Baha Mar Championship. AT&T at the half. Coming up next on CBS Sports Network. Late night in Nassau at the gorgeous Baha Mar Resort. Continental Tire Baha Mar Championship. All Tennessee through 20 minutes of hoop tonight. 47-20 over Baylor at the break. With Kyle Macy, I'm Chris Sylvester. It was about this time last year that college basketball fans started finding out who Dalton Connect was.
Right.
Chaz Lanier might be on a similar trajectory.
If they've watched this game, they're aware now, because he was on fire that first half. With his first 5 threes, just finished the half 7 out of 8 from behind the three-point line. 25 points to finish the half. His 7 threes, the most threes in a half of any major college basketball player so far, and 2 away from the school record.
Chaz Lanier was 25 of Tennessee's 47. They shot 52% from the field, assisted on 13 of their 17 makes from the floor. And well, Baylor did not do a good job taking care of the basketball. Tennessee 13 points off 9 giveaways.
And you've got to give Baylor a little bit of dues, the fact that they played 2 overtimes last night, and as you watch their shots, they're all hitting the front of the rim, which means they don't have the legs under them like they normally do. But also Tennessee's defense is very solid. Baylor only shooting 31%, 9 of 29 from the field. Omier leading the way with 5 points.
Now remember, Baylor trailed by 14 at the half against St. John's last night, but 27 against this defense is a little bit different.
Right. I mean, you're still going to play the half. For Tennessee, the challenge will be to keep that intensity through this whole half, be consistent. For Baylor, it's just try to build on some things. They know they're tired, they're fatigued, but you can't just cave in. You got to keep battling.
You hit the beach today?
I did not. Hit the gym. Come on. Watching teams shoot, working out, working on my charts. It's basketball, man. Come on.
Kyle Macy does. Who are some early candidates for the Kyle Macy Player of the Year award?
It's too early to tell. I don't even believe in the ranking system to start those until like January, when you've had a chance to see teams play close to 10 games or something.
Chaz Lanier really wants that award.
He's not a freshman now.
That's true. He is a newcomer, though. A lot of good freshmen here between the 4 teams. Omier draws a foul. Well, that's a start for Baylor. They didn't attempt a free throw the opening 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I think that's what you got to do. Just try to play the game that you're going to play as the season progresses, get better at it. Belichick trying to come over, but anytime you swat like that, they'll probably call the foul. He did a good job in that first half on one of the plays that went straight up, both hands straight up in the air, and there was no call made, which is the rule that, you know, it's not automatic, whereas before it was.
Well, Miami was the champion of this event last year. Norchad Omier was on that Hurricanes team, and it was a similar type of game where they got a real big early into the second half against K-State. The Wildcats would make things a little bit interesting down the stretch, but Miami wound up winning the Baha Mar Bahamas Championship. Tennessee in the driver's seat, up 25 as we start this second half. Akpara to the free throw line for 2.
His first shot of the game. Played a little two-man game on the side, rolled to the basket. And that's open. You'll see here, he's posting up, got a mismatch because of the high pick. But that's open because of the outside shooting of Tennessee. They can't leave those perimeter players. They're not going to leave Lanier wide open because they know what he's going to do. So they're going to try to make somebody else beat them.
One of the premier shot blockers in the transfer portal over the offseason. Felix Okpara at Ohio State last year started 34 games, had 83 blocks, which was good for 9th best in college basketball. You give a defensive-minded head coach who's got Zakai Ziegler back, got Meshack back, an elite rim protector. It just makes Tennessee so much more dangerous. Already an Elite 8 team a season ago. 2 more free throws for Norchad Omier as Okpara picks up the foul. Rather, Milicic picks up this one.
Yeah, and Tennessee really doesn't want to continue to foul. Let the Baylor make some points from the free throw line. But you've got to capitalize.
Sam Hyman caught up with Scott Drew coming out of halftime. Well, apologies for the technical difficulties. Get more from Sam momentarily. Omier with all 3 points for Baylor here at a halftime. Ziegler dished out 8 assists in the opening 20 minutes. A mismatch here. Omier digs into it defensively. Shot clock down to 5. Ziegler turns. Meshack didn't get it off in time.
He wasn't aware of the shot clock. He should have just caught it and shot it. Excellent one-on-one defense, though, by Omier on the 5'9" Ziegler, able to stay with his speed and quickness.
All right, Sam.
Yeah, guys, spoke to Coach Drew at halftime. His message to the team in the locker room, he took a deep breath and said, find number 2. Somebody's got to find number 2, please, referring to Chaz Lanier. Coach Drew went on to say, too many turnovers. We're getting bullied on the glass. Poor transition defense. We have to get better in all those areas.
Omier goes off the window. A southpaw flip.
Tough shot. Made it look easy.
Yeah, Chaz Lanier with those 7 threes in the first half, just 2 shy of tying the Tennessee single-game record. Chris Lofton hit 9 threes in a game at Georgia back in February 2006.
That last play, just a high pick and roll, nice little pocket pass, I guess they're calling it nowadays, but Omier moving it to the left hand using the backboard.
What did you call it back in your day?
Bounce pass. I'm not sure where that turned. Whoa!
Phillips to Okpara. The bigs connect on the alley-oop for Tennessee. Cade Phillips, who was the recipient of an alley-oop in the first half from Zakai Ziegler, set up Felix Okpara for the jam. Edgecombe, circus shot, missed it. Ojanwana grabs the second effort. Roach into traffic, and that's a jump ball. Possession arrow points the way of Tennessee.
Now, Phillips may have gotten away with one that time. He went over for the block and kind of grabbed the net to help him get a little bit higher because he knew Edgecombe was going to explode. Here's that last play, though. Phillips recognizing the switch and just threw it up the rim. Okpara's big enough and goes high enough to get it.
Ziegler races into the front court, tried to lob it to the big fella again. This time Baylor breaks it up. Open corner pocket 3, and Edgecombe hits.
That's what you got to do. Baylor playing a little bit more energy. Defensively, they definitely picked up the intensity.
2 trays for Edgecombe last night, who had missed 14 of his first 17 in Baylor's first 4 games. Lanier misses his first attempt of the second half. Phillips had it knocked loose, last touched by Baylor. And Cade Phillips getting much more run tonight than we saw against Virginia in the semis, and making an impact.
Tennessee looking for a foul and a slap down by Roach, but I think it looked like he got all ball the way the ball was spinning coming off.
Wright picks up Lanier. Fade away from the elbow. Phillips soars in for the stick back.
They did a good job on the defensive end, all except getting the ball on the missed shot. You work so hard to get a stop, but if you give up that offensive glass, it just destroys you.
15 second chance points for Tennessee tonight. Edgecombe lets another one go. This one's off the side of the iron. Baylor 3 for 12 from long range as a team. Lanier bumped right in front of the Tennessee section. Lanier, it won't count. Foul away from the basketball on Tennessee. Volunteers in control. The Baha Mar championship game. Nothing beats a Friday night at the Baha Mar Resort in Nassau. Continental Tire Baha Mar championship game. Couldn't have drawn up a better matchup. Two top 15 teams. Tennessee's dominated tonight. But what a journey it's been to get a game like this, magnitude of this. Graham Davis, the president of Baha Mar, kind enough to take some time out of his Friday night to join us. Thanks for taking some time. I know this is always a crazy week for you guys, but I mean, tell us how much this thing has grown from the first year into year 4 of this big event with these big-time college basketball teams coming to play here.
It's been an incredible journey. We just opened 7 years ago. And the way this event has grown for Baha Mar, for the Bahamas, the country, it truly is remarkable. And we're so thankful to the fans. We're so thankful to the teams to come and give us the opportunity to play here in the most breathtaking place on earth, the Bahamas.
I second that.
I third that.
Did you ever dream that you'd have programs like St. John's, Tennessee, Baylor, Virginia coming here to play meaningful basketball?
Oh, it's incredible. And that game last night was just breathtaking at the end there, and double overtime. What an amazing night that was.
It's my understanding you really didn't grow up, though, playing basketball, but have kind of developed into a fan because of all the excitement.
You have to. You have to. I'm an Australian born, lived in America for the last 50 years, so yeah, it's all grown on me. Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. What a great opportunity. Some amazing teams. And we've got our own Bahamian here, too.
Yes, VJ Edgecombe.
Yeah.
And how exciting is that? Obviously,
We are. We've got our Prime Minister here with us tonight. He's enjoying the festivities. And about 2,000 fans, so it's a great night.
Yeah, I mean, I remember this thing just a couple years ago. You didn't need this much seating.
No, you're right.
But
You're right.
You're hard pressed to find an open seat in this arena. What has the addition of basketball done for the resort?
Well, it truly has given us tremendous exposure across North America, which is our main market. And, you know, this time of year, when it's starting to get a little chilly up there, which we love it, you know, a little bit of snow, a little bit of cold, the phones start ringing, you know, people start looking at where do I get away to go somewhere beautifully warm, and we're only, you know, 2 hours from New York, we're 30 minutes from Miami. We have 48 flights a day, and it's and when you leave the Bahamas, you're in pre-clearance U.S., so, you know, it's so easy to get back and get back home. You're not traveling too far at all. We're so close to everywhere in North America. And we just started direct airlift from L.A. On Alaska and JetBlue. We're super excited about it.
I'm a California-based guy. So,
all right.
I mean,
so
hearing that,
you know, I'll tell you, we're actually 10 minutes closer than Hawaii if you're traveling from L.A.
Isn't that something? I mean, you think West Coast,
Right.
I mean, you just go across to Hawaii. I think this place...
closer to come to the Bahamas.
Oh, it's a lot better than what you get over there in the Hawaiian Islands. Hey, while we finish up this men's 4-team event this week, as Zakai Ziegler rings it up from long range, This is just the start of Baja Mar Hoops. You've got some elite women's teams coming in. Gino Ariema just clinched the winningest head coach mark in women's college basketball history earlier this week. He's going to bring that record, all those championships to this event. And then more men's teams will be here next weekend. So you're really just getting this thing off the ground with 10+ days of basketball here.
Oh, absolutely. Over 20 teams. We were the first to do the NCAA women's tournament here at Baja Mar, and we just keep growing. We're also doing an ESPN event in the fantasy football draft. We just started that up as well. That's exciting in August. We've got a lot of sporting activities going here at Baja Mar.
You know, as a compliment to you, you don't hear, but I do. I talk to a lot of the SIDs from different schools, and they talk to their friends who have been or are at schools that have come here, and they all say the same thing. Oh, it's a great tournament. You're going to love it. It's a great resort. So I know you don't always get to hear those things, but the people just can't say enough nice things
Well, it's great to hear. You know, we have 5,000 employees, and I always focus on putting them first. If my employees are happy, I know my guests are going to be happy.
Well, your employees are always very friendly wherever you are, whether it's
so
the beach, the pools, or in the hotel itself. Yeah,
that's great to hear. Great to hear. Well, we've done a lot for them. We paid every employee over $80 million across all of our associates to keep them employed during COVID. So when we came out of COVID and reopened, all of our employees were there ready to work. We've just got such a loyal team here. Of our employees.
I do have to ask you, have you been on the slide?
You know, I have not yet gone down the Devil's Backbone. I did the Lazy River. That's as far as I'll go. How about you?
I'm not. No.
We have an amazing $200 million luxury water park that we just opened a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And it's been a game changer.
Oh my
really,
goodness.
Guests love it. We've got slides at all different levels.
Yeah, I've been there, but I've not been down on this.
No, I don't blame you. I don't blame you.
Well, you've got everything. You've got a swim-up bar. You've got an area where you can swim next to an aquarium-like setting where you've got different types of birds and parrots. You've got turtles and stingrays and friendly sharks hanging out with the schools of fishes there.
We do. We have a CFO, a Chief Flamingo Officer, that takes care of our flamingo ambassadors.
So you haven't done the big slides, but have you done the pink flamingo yoga?
I can't say I've done. I've been over there to take, to make sure our guests are enjoying the flamingo yoga.
Well,
I got that idea looking at goat yoga. I thought, well, wouldn't it be great to do flamingos? And the flamingos will love it. You know, they're so sociable.
They really do, and they sleep on one leg.
No, absolutely.
Well, it feels like every time we come here, and Kyle and I have been fortunate to now do this event for 3 years in a row, but there's always something new, right? I mean, you got a new jazz bar that's slowly starting to open up. It seats 3 times the amount of people that the original jazz bar did. What's next for Baja Mar? Like when we come here, hopefully a year from now, what might we see?
Well, we're super excited about our new jazz club. As a matter of fact, just opened tonight.
Okay, so are we getting invites?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
We've got 2 seats at the bar waiting for you. It's an incredible, and we've got an A-list celebrity entertainer, musician that's going to partner with us on it. But we did a soft opening today. It's over 300 seats, and it's absolutely gorgeous. And nightly jazz entertainment, wonderful. Next year, we've got a new Italian restaurant. We'll be opening next year. We've got an incredible amount of work to do on adding some new experiences yet to be announced, but coming up very soon. We just formed a partnership with John McEnroe. We have one of the first John McEnroe tennis centers here at our resort. We're very excited. He'll be down here in December.
And I noticed, I actually was out on the tennis court a couple days ago, and I noticed you changed your grass court to some pickleball courts,
Oh, fastest growing sport in America.
Yeah.
We've got 6 brand new pickleball courts.
They look real nice.
We're super excited about that. Always packed.
Chatting with the president of Baja Mar, Graham Davis, as Tennessee leads by 21 here in the Continental Tire Baja Mar Championship. We've yet to announce what teams will be in this event next year, but obviously, an event like this, and you mentioned that double overtime thrilling finish last night with Roach hitting the buzzer beater to break the hearts of St. John's. I mean, if you're a college basketball program, why on earth would you not want to come experience
exactly
this?
Right. Exactly right. We're just so fortunate to have these teams here. We look forward to, as we get in the winter time and the holidays, to have more of our guests from North America come on down.
The biggest decision and question I guess you have to ask yourself, do I want to go to the water, the beach, the pool, or do I want to go to the casino?
Yeah. You can do both here.
You can. Matter of fact, we have a casino in the water park. So, you know, our guests can enjoy a little bit of the adult game room.
Graham Davis, thank you for your time.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for being with us.
All right, let's take you back to VJ Edgecombe in his pre-high school days. This is late middle school for the 13-year-old who's now one of the top NBA draft-eligible prospects in 2025. And what a long way he's come. A starter in his freshman season for this ranked Baylor squad. And he's from the Bahamas. Such a special moment for him to come back home and play some big college basketball games.
Kind of interesting, too. Still wearing the same number 7. But yeah, his future is very bright, and you can see from those clips as a youngster that he had some real good fundamentals, and he's grown into his body, and being able to, the length he's grown into, the explosion of the legs, and he's a great prospect.
Sam Hyman has more on the Big 12 preseason freshman of the year.
Spoke to his coach from the Bahamas, Gateway Christian's Gilbert Roll Jr., and I asked Gilbert, what's VJ's greatest strength, or what was his greatest strength at a young age? And Mr. Roll said his confidence. He wants to be the guy. VJ was always better than his peers growing up, always willing to learn. The only thing he was lacking was time. His body needed to develop, and now it is. And Mr. Roll and about 20 to 30 people from the island of Bimini, about a 20 to 30-minute flight, are here watching him play.
We saw his mother in attendance last night. Tons of friends and family here to support what they hope is a late comeback. Baylor with a lot of work to do. Love from the corner. And Dubar soars in to grab the miss. So to start this second half, Baylor has outscored Tennessee 16-12. But when you face a 27-point deficit and only have 20 minutes to work with, Baylor's going to need a huge run here to get back within striking distance before the clock really becomes a factor. Phillips off the heel, but earns himself a pair at the free throw line.
Phillips playing some quality minutes here in the second half. He's been very active.
Foul was called on number 13, Langston Love. Second personal. Team foul number 4 at the line, shooting 2.
Phillips, second-year volunteer from Jacksonville, Alabama. Only scored a combined 12 points total in limited time last season. Much more of a factor in Rick Barnes' rotation in his second year. Tennessee leads by 25 again. Almir drives it in a crowd. No look pass. Edgecombe on target from long range.
Basket number 7, VJ Edgecombe.
Second tray for Edgecombe into double figures with 10 points, matching his total from last night. Baylor just 4 of 16 from the perimeter.
Excellent ball movement by Tennessee.
And Phillips is fouled again.
Yeah, that one more pass, find the open guy, drive it, pull the defense, and kick down low. Now, on the defensive end, though, here we take a look at that last play. Just a good drive and a dish over there by Meshack. But on the defensive end, Phillips not really reading his scouting report, I would say, because he came charging out well beyond the three-point line to Omir. And Omir's strength's not shooting three-pointers. It's down the low post, and they gave Omir a chance to go by him to the basket.
This Tennessee program, more victories than any other in the SEC since 2017. They were the preseason pick to finish 3rd behind Alabama and Auburn. 27 wins last season for Rick Barnes' squad, ousted in the Elite Eight by the national runner-up Purdue. Longtime Texas coach knocked out his former school on the way to the Elite Eight last March.
And they play at Texas this year in conference.
That's a different wrinkle with Texas and Oklahoma joining the SEC. Big 12 looks a little different too. Arizona, Arizona State, Utah, Colorado. 16 teams in the Big 12.
A lot of people talk about those super conferences of 16 whatever each. They're close. They're right there.
Edgecombe hangs, missed it off the glass, rips it away from Milicic, and a finger roll finish.
Strong play. Milicic is not real skinny. I mean, he's got pretty good bulk on him and took it right away from him.
Deceptive strength from the freshman. Lanier has not scored in this second half after pouring in 25 points in the opening 20 minutes.
Well, they made an adjustment. They went to a little longer defensive player, more of a frontline player, but they've got some good quickness. O'Meara can extend out there and guard him, and Celestine as well with their good length. Kind of gets into it, makes him think about adjusting his arch.
Jordan Gainey will get to the free throw line here for Tennessee. Senior from Tucson, spent 2 seasons at USC Upstate out of the Big South Conference. Joining his father, Justin, who's Rick Barnes' associate head coach here at Tennessee. Gainey was a 2022 Kyle Macy Award finalist, given to the nation's best freshman. Went to Malachi Branham of Ohio State. Maybe VJ Edgecombe this year? Maybe?
He'll get some recognition, I'm sure, yeah. Especially if Baylor does as well in the conferences they think they're going to. You know, that's the thing for young players. They like to get those individual recognitions, but it's more about the team. And you learn if your team is successful, all those individual awards kind of fall in place because of the team success. I mean,
Edgecombe with an athletic finish.
Plays like that will get him noticed, definitely.
Have you noticed him yet?
But if he's on the bottom of the conference, you know,
sure.
You know, he's just going for himself. But if they're the team success, then yeah, they're going to say, well, he's a good player and he's on a good team.
Jalen Celestine, the takeaway for Baylor. 9 minutes left in this title game. Tennessee has been in control from the jump. Edgecombe misses the straightaway look.
You can see this half too. Whenever Lanier catches the ball, they're into him, whereas the first half they gave him too much space.
Milicic. Here comes Ziegler. It's Gainey downhill again. Blocking foul called.
Blocking foul called on number 3.
Take a look at that. See if Roach was set. There's a lot of contact on the play. Yeah, I think that was a good call. You can't be sliding over, even though you hit him right in the middle of the chest. You still can't be moving and sliding like that to get under the offensive player.
Quiet night for Jeremy Roach after the 20 points, the buzzer beater to knock off St. John's in the semis. Only 4 points on 2 of 6 shooting. Is Gainey now 5 for 5 at the free throw line. 11 points off the bench for the senior, who's got more than 1,200 points in his college career.
You know, I'm a little old school on certain things. One thing that I do like about the Tennessee team is most of the players are all wearing the same shoes, same color, the school color, either the orange or the black that they wear sometimes. Whereas you look out at some of the other schools, and some of the players even have on opposite colors on different feet. It goes back to being a team game or an individual. You're trying to get recognition through your dress, or you're trying to get recognition through the way you play.
So you're not a big sneakerhead.
Well, I mean, if you're on the team, you should be in the same uniform.
Yeah, I guess your shoes match your shirt right now.
Yeah, thank you.
Those Gucci's you got on,
yeah,
Kyle.
right. But, you know, in the NBA, I think they even fine you if you don't have on the right socks or whatever the case is. I've heard of stories of that.
Roach elevates and gets the shooter's touch.
But now I don't know too if with the NIL deal, do college players have shoe contracts? I know schools have shoe contracts, so I wouldn't think they would.
Tennessee by 19. 7:54 left to play in Nassau as the sneaker talk rolls along. Tomorrow, starting at noon Eastern, CBS Sports Network heads to the gridiron for a full day of college football, starting with Sam Houston taking on Jacksonville State. Then triple your Mountain West action, highlighted by Ashton Jeanty. Number 12, Boise State, visiting Wyoming at 7, followed by Fresno State hosting Colorado State at 10:30. Well, this guy very much in the Heisman hunt. And you look at the numbers that he's put together, Heisman worthy. But what's even more ridiculous is most defenses are forced to put 9 guys in the box to slow him down. Even with 8 guys in the box, he's averaging more than 7 yards per carry.
Yeah, you know how a fire, if it gets hot enough, it turns blue. He's running so fast on that field that their field is turned blue.
Boise State in the driver's seat to be that non-Power 4 school that gets into the new 12-team college football playoff. They win out. Good chance it'll be them. Baylor trails by 21 out of the timeout, and they'll get a little closer as Nunn connects on a 3.
You got to give Baylor credit. You know, they're fatigued. They didn't play very well. Couldn't shoot it first half, but they're still battling to cut this lead down.
Only the 5th tray for Baylor after connecting on 15 each of their last 2 games. Went 15 of 29 against St. John's last night. Milicic rolling off the feed from Ziegler and got whacked by Jaden Nunn.
Set play coming out of the timeout by Rick Barnes. He does a real good job of that. On timeouts, they always have a set play to run, a baseline out of bounds. They have different sets they run. You can see just slipping the pick, ran the wing player all the way out to get him out of the way from the weak side help. And if they hadn't fouled, he was going to get a layup.
Igor Milicic has had a nice weekend in the Bahamas. Hard not to have a nice weekend here, but on the floor into double figures again following a 14.8 rebound outing last night. The transfer from Charlotte had a double-double against Montana earlier this month. Tennessee eyeing a 6-0 start to the season. And led by as many as 28 in this game. Roach lets it fly. Para snares the miss.
St. John's is thinking, why didn't you do that last night?
Johnny's came out with a lot of energy despite playing the 2 overtimes and falling in that contest. They dominated Virginia earlier tonight. They'll play another game here Sunday morning against Georgia in the Bahamas.
Yeah, that was a good call.
Blocking foul on Langston Love.
Yeah, it looked like he flopped, and you can tell because he went down so quickly. Take another look at that. Just in arm bars, which is fine. They're just kind of laid down. And I'm all for the defensive player having a little bit of advantage because the offensive player right now in the day's game, when he gets the ball in the low post, they basically just bang their way to underneath the basket.
Missed everything. Yeah, you knew the Baylor fans would be rowdy if he missed.
I think they're yelling at the official. What's the saying? The ball doesn't lie?
Something like that. Yeah. Robert Wright just 2 points off the bench as he throws it away. At 17, highlighted by 4 trays last night. Turnover woes have been a constant for Baylor in this game. They're 13th. Milicic lobs it, and an offensive foul. Para pushed off before he caught the pass.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that call. May have been a makeup from the one before.
Now 6 minutes left. Tennessee has led wire to wire. A couple of quad one wins for the Volunteers should they hold on. Nunn recovers. Edgecombe on a bounce. O'Meara, look out below. Now they got it to 17, but only 5:25 remains.
Yeah, and O'Meara's been a big part of that this second half. He's kind of taken it upon himself.
Tennessee takes time. Norchad O'Meara, 20 points, 8 rebounds on double-double watch nightly. But Tennessee still up comfortably with 5:20 to play. Time now for the Continental Tire play of the game.
Well, a little bit of everything. Great little pass there by Edgecombe, and Norchad O'Meara knows what to do when he gets some momentum. Two-handed flush right down the middle.
That rim has been rocking all night between St. John's and Virginia. Now to Tennessee Baylor, this top 15 matchup. Norchad O'Meara, 24 points, 10 boards last night. At 17 double-doubles last season at Miami. He'll get close to that number again in the Baylor uniform. This is his final college season.
Yeah, let's give Baylor some credit too. I mean, we know they're so fatigued in that long game, but they've actually outscored Tennessee 30-20 this second half. So no die in those Bears. Still 5:20 to play.
They've held Chaz Lanier scoreless, who lit him up to the tune of 7 threes, 25 points in the first half. Tennessee led by 27 out of the break. Gainey late in the clock puts it in.
Yeah, had to shoot it. Shot clock was at 1 when he let it go. Defense also has to recognize where the shot clock is too. When you see it get down there to 2 or 1 seconds, you move into your player. You can't stay back to normal position.
15 points off the bench for Gainey. Edgecombe elevating and drawing a foul. 12 three-pointers as a team for Tennessee.
Igor Milicic is fourth.
So Edgecombe, special moment for him to come on back home to the Bahamas and play a couple of games here. We'll see him playing for the Bohemian national team again next time international competition rolls around. CBS Sports recognizes Native American Heritage Month, a time to embrace tribal identity and celebrate the history, customs, and legacy of the nation's original citizens. Nice ovation for Igor Milicic checking out for Tennessee with 4:45 left as Edgecombe rolls home the second free throw.
Little 1-2-2 full court pressure. It's tough to press though. Ziegler's so fast and quick.
That's Lanier. It was partially blocked by Roach. Wright pulls up. Short. Seen a lot of those shots come a little bit short tonight. Second night of a back-to-back. Edgecombe with a nice effort to create the second opportunity for Robert Wright.
They're battling.
Baylor did not respond this well opening night at Gonzaga after facing a big halftime deficit. Scott Drew has to be pleased with the efforts this second half. Meshack swings it. Tennessee takes the clock inside of 4 minutes. Gainey finds Phillips rolling. Phillips, patience in the eye of a storm for 2.
Good strength too. He caught the ball. There was a couple of slaps. Caught him in the arm, whatever, but he knew it was coming, so he just gathered his strength. Then went up with the soft touch.
11 points off the bench for Cade Phillips. Edgecombe, giant steps down the lane and a kiss off the glass. 17 for Edgecombe tonight.
Yeah, I mean, he's talented. I think I'd sit on his right hand though and see if he can go to the left. Because it seems, I recall, every drive he's made has been going right.
Ziegler blows by Nunn for 2.
Tennessee just wants to play solid defense without fouling, keep that clock running. Meshack kind of gambling all over the place. Get in there. Oh.
Would have given him 20 on the night. Instead, Lanier coasting into the front court with Tennessee firmly in control. Well, if I would have told you that Zakai Ziegler had 5 points combined between two games, did you think Tennessee would get out of here 2-0?
Well, they don't really rely on him that much to score. I mean, anything they get is kind of bonus. It's more about his leadership on the floor, his passing, his disruptiveness on the defensive end.
He's averaging 15.5 points per game through the first 4, but he's done it with his defense in these 2 games. VJ Edgecombe, a homecoming for the freshman from the Bahamas, but Tennessee owns the spotlight tonight in the Continental Tire Baha Mar Championship. Coming up next, get in-depth highlights and analysis of the latest hoops action as we go coast to coast on Inside College Basketball right here on CBS Sports Network. Good night to be a Tennessee Volunteer. They have dominated wire to wire against 13th ranked Baylor, up 19 with 2:27 left to play. Louisville, the inaugural champion of this event 4 seasons ago, then UCF, then Miami. Tennessee would be the first SEC program to hoist the Baha Mar Championship trophy.
And I know Baylor came in fatigued from that game last night, but they fell behind again early. And that's kind of becoming a habit. It's one thing I'm sure Scott Drew will address with his team. You got to be ready right from the start.
Baylor returns home. They'll take on New Orleans Wednesday, and then they got to go to UConn, the back-to-back national champion, to open up the December slate. A lot of tough games, as per usual, under Scott Drew for Baylor before they get to the Big 12. Had Gonzaga opening night, Virginia last night, Tennessee in this game, and then UConn a couple of contests from now.
The Baylor so far has played one of the toughest schedules in the country.
They get it back to O'Meara, spinning around Phillips, and he uses the glass.
He's a handful down there in the low post.
It's another double-double for Nordchad O'Meara, 22 points, 10 boards tonight, as he notches his 4th in Baylor's first 6 games. A team like Tennessee won't catch them squandering as large of a lead as they had at halftime, up 27. Baylor never quite made things interesting, but continued to play hard until these final moments. 90 seconds left. Edgecombe stays with it, but it swirls off. Now he tries to take it away from Phillips, and possession arrow points the way of Tennessee.
Well, that was a highlight film play. Didn't get the ball to go in the basket, but we missed the shot and immediately popped right back up, almost like he was on a pogo stick, and tapped it. Thought he had it going in. Phillips getting some good minutes for Tennessee this second half. As a sophomore, you know, he's going to continue to grow, get in that weight room, get stronger.
A little more time in the absence of J.P. Estrella. 6'11" forward that we didn't see in the 2 games here. Ziegler to the floor, foul called. Ziegler and Celestine exchanging some pleasantries late night in Nassau.
I think he didn't really appreciate that shove after he went by him. And you know, Ziegler at 5'9", he's tough. He's not going to back down from anyone, let alone Celestine, who stands at 6'7" and 220 pounds.
Zakai Ziegler, preseason All-SEC, preseason All-American, has led the SEC in assists per game each of the last 2 seasons. And he's been a top-notch facilitator tonight. 9 assists now, 6 points, 3 steals. Roach splits the defense. Out to Edgecombe for three.
Nice.
Well, Edgecombe with a 20-piece. Still hustling hard defensively.
Got a foul there. Somebody get hurt.
And Rick Barnes, as Lanier dove on top of the loose ball, takes timeout.
Timeout, Tennessee.
Both teams calling for a foul.
Got to get to the swimming pig before it closes.
Baylor probably calling, wouldn't get a travel call, so he get possession of the ball back.
Well, Tennessee fans 57 seconds away from celebrating a Continental Tire Baja Mar championship. Two impressive performances put forth by Rick Barnes' basketball team. Such a new team in a lot of ways coming into the season. Zakai Ziegler, the lone force back from that Elite Eight squad last year. Meshack stepping into a bigger role this season, bringing in Akpara, Milicic, and Lanier from the transfer portal to the starting lineup. It was one of the better transfer portal classes of the offseason, and they have meshed extremely well together these first 3 weeks of the new campaign.
Yeah, Coach Barnes has done a good job of putting the right pieces in place. He knew by getting Lanier, an outside shooter, that would help his inside players. His big men, they don't really look to get a lot of points out of them, at least through the offense, where they're going to create their own shots and score. It's more about setting good solid picks, maybe on some lob passes or some putback plays, rebounding defensively, and with Lanier extending it opens up some space down that low post for their big men, makes it a little bit easier for them. Meshack, his energy, his defense, Ziegler's defense is outstanding. They're a solid team.
Ziegler finds Phillips. And double dribble.
Turnover, Tennessee. Baylor basketball.
Bishop Boswell will get some run these final 42 seconds. Young freshman that's put on 10 pounds since arriving on campus. Roach hits the midi. That might culminate our scoring tonight. Well, I think the most memorable sequence belongs to Jeremy Roach. But no question, Tennessee was the best team these 2 nights in Nassau.
I agree with that 100%.
We'll remember the buzzer beater.
Baylor's going to be a really good team through the year, and they're going to get better from this. It's not going to hurt the rankings because, you know, Tennessee being a ranked team, it's good for them on their resume, even though they lost. But they're good comeback this second half.
Celestine off the front rim. The Tennessee Volunteers are the 2024 Continental Tire Baja Mar champions. A wire-to-wire dominant showing from Rick Barnes' 11th ranked Volunteers as they knock off Baylor tonight 77-62. Tennessee 52% from the field. They hold Baylor, an outstanding three-point shooting team, to just 6 makes. And the Volunteers will be a contender when SEC play rolls around, and maybe much, much more than that.
That's true. And Baylor, to their credit, I mean, they were shooting in the high 20 percentile at halftime and got that back up all the way to 42%. And like we said, at one point, it outscored Tennessee by 10 in the second half.
It will be a happy ride back to Rocky Top for these Tennessee Volunteers. Beating Virginia last night, taking care of Baylor tonight. Sam Hyman is standing by with Rick Barnes.
That's right, Coach. Back-to-back wins against ranked teams to win the Baja Mar Championship. What do these wins tell you about your team?
Well, you know, we didn't know a lot about ourselves, to be honest, coming here, but I'm really proud of the effort defensively. Baylor's an outstanding team. Obviously, Virginia first night's a hard one always, but just really proud of the defensive effort. We can get better second half. When you get a lead like that, it's hard to play, and against, they came out, played better, and we got a little tentative, but overall, just a great 2 days for us.
How was your experience here in the Bahamas all around?
We loved it. I tell you, I've heard so much about being here at Balmar, and it lived up to it.
Thanks for your time. Congrats.
Thank you.
Well, that Baja Mar Championship trophy hoisted by an SEC program for the first time. Miami, the champion last year. Tennessee, the champion here in 2024. 77-62. They knock off the Baylor Bears. And as you get deeper into a college basketball season, you start to learn a little more about each team. Tennessee, awfully impressive off to this 6-0 start. Chaz Lanier helped Tennessee mount an impressive halftime lead. He's standing by with Sam Hyman.
Yeah, it's a party. It's a party right here. Chaz, I gotta ask. You hit 7 threes. You hit 7 threes in this game. When did you feel like your shot was falling?
It was falling from the beginning, but I want to give all the glory to God and then all the credit to my teammates for finding it. Yeah.
How are you feeling right now?
I'm ecstatic. We're going to celebrate tonight, and then we're going to get back in the lab and get to work.
What did you learn about your team in these 2 games?
I say we're just a real tough team and very resilient.
Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Remember, that guy went on a water slide before he erupted in these back-to-back wins for Tennessee. Always fun to bring you basketball here from the Baja Mar Resort. Tennessee, congratulations to the Volunteers. Continental Tire Baja Mar champions. For Kyle Macy, Sam Hyman, our producer John Colano, director Sidney Boxall. I'm Chris Sylvester. Thanks for joining us. Inside College Basketball comes your way next. Good night from the Bahamas. Tennessee wins 77-62.